Loco sports fans. Happy Friday Eve. It's Thursday night. It's the Loco Sports Lowdown, powered by our all-star sponsors, Mickelson Law Firm and WHHI TV. We got the whole gang here. Marcus Walsh from WHHI TV. Mark in the dark over there at the Funky Bunch on his way home from a nice dinner in Savannah. We got Max Raj, we got Wes Kerr, and myself, Justin Jarrett, ready to break it all down for you on a Thursday night. We got football on. We got a big baseball game on. My Cubbies have already advanced. Sorry about.
I was just going to ask.
I'm rocking the Cubbies hat.
So the Cubs were able to do it. They were able to advance against San Diego. I would love to see Seattle go up against Chicago now that Cleveland's out. I would love to see that for the World Series.
I'm down with it.
Meanwhile, the Yankees game, the pitching matchup, we all anticipated Cam Schindler against Connolly early, and they both put up 3 zeros. It's a scoreless game heading into the fourth.
Wow.
Go figure. These kids have ice water in their veins. Coming out there, 5th big league start for Early and 15th big league start for Schlittler. In the Bronx, winner take all. That's about as big as it gets. And then they were both born after 2000. So I'm feeling very old this evening as I watch the baseball. But
correct me if I'm wrong, real quick, JJ. Seattle and the Chicago Cubs both play spring training in Peoria, Illinois.
Well, I mean, the Cubs play their spring training in Arizona.
I like Chicago.
Oh, I meant Peoria. Is it Peoria, Arizona? I could be completely off. What I just said.
They used to be in Mesa. They have a minor league affiliate in Peoria.
I really like Chicago against Milwaukee. I think they're playing some strong all-around ball right now.
They are
doing a solid job, and can you really trust the Brewers in the playoffs? I mean, it seems like every year they find a way to blow it in early, especially in the NLDS. So I kind of think the Cubs are going to ride that momentum into the next round.
And right.
And it's either the Dodgers and the Phillies and what should be a heavyweight matchup in the other side of the National League.
I mean, it feels like the World Series in a way. It feels like that's the biggest series. It feels like whoever comes out of that's going to be prepared to win it all.
Yeah,
but
everybody
you never know. Yeah, well, not everybody hates them. A ton of people love the Dodgers, and a ton of people love the Phillies. And that's the way professional sports works, is that 30 seconds of the league hates every team.
Well, the big market teams get a lot more hate. That's just the way it is. Like the Cowboys, you either love them or you hate them.
But the Phillies are not hated on anywhere near the level of the Dodgers.
No, I'm just saying the big market teams, like the New York teams, some of the California teams, Dallas Cowboys, so on.
I mean, I think the love and the hate go in direct proportion in general. If nobody cares about a team, then nobody cares either way. So, and generally we hate them because they're successful, which also makes everyone else love them. So anyway, enough baseball. We've got some local sports to get through, then we'll get into the Week 6 slate for the Loco Pigskin Live, Loco Pigskin Preview, rather. So without further ado, then, Wes, you're our resident expert. I saw USCB women got another win on the road.
Really nice win on the road against the team that also is new, or a team that just actually entered the Peach Belt this year. That's Middle Georgia, but that's a team that they knew very well coming in, former NAIA squad that has kind of moved up with them, and now they're both Peach Belt teams. But that's a gutsy win on the road, 2-1, and your stars showed up. Sophia Willis and Savannah Page with the goals. That's a tremendous effort, especially the fact that Middle Georgia showed some fight in this game. The Sand Sharks did dominate their 16-8 in terms of shots. They doubled up in shots throughout the ball game, but as expected in soccer, sometimes it doesn't always go your way. But just terrific grit there to get that win after the Knights equalized later in the first half, and I'm just really impressed just by the overall offensive generate and be able to draw a good amount of corner kicks, and for the most part, doing a good job of capitalizing, of not scoring, just continuing to put the pressure on. I just love the way Fountain has energized the attack and just how the way they play. It's just been a lot more refined and more successful than we have seen the last few years. And that's a big 3 points for the Sand Sharks. And right back at it on Saturday at Georgia College. So that's a big game. If they win that one, that will probably put them firmly in the top 4 in the conference. I'm not sure what has happened elsewhere, but that's a nice place to be in if they're able to get the win on Saturday and really solidify themselves as the top team in this conference. And by the start they had, I think expectations have risen for what this team can do. And now you're expecting to, if you can keep rounding off those wins, if you can get a win over Flagler or Lander, those are the ones that they struggled with last year, and then a opportunity at home against Columbus State late in the year. So that's another target. If they win that one, that's a really quality win when you look at just overall body of work and all that. But a pretty impressive start. I've said this before, but just the way they've been continuing to string these wins together, especially the ones on the road where they have had trouble doing that in the past, just getting those big time victories in conference play. So they're right now they are in tie for second. They're tied with Lander with 9 points.
Nice.
Yeah. So now some teams only played 3 games, so this standings
uneven table.
Yeah, uneven. I mean, 4 games played for USCB, 3 games played for Lander and Georgia College and Columbus State, but this is right where we want to be, and can't ask for much more through the first. Obviously, North Georgia, tough game. They're unbeaten 4-0. That's a team that is certainly riding high in this conference, but terrific start for the Sand Sharks. I love the way those younger players have melded in, and Josiah Pack. I mean, the scoring, it's not just her goal scoring, but she's been able to get some big assists as well. I believe she assisted on the winner from Savannah Page. So she has been really the breakthrough star this year. Someone who wasn't expected to produce the rate she has been, but she's been excellent. You knew Sophia Willis would continue her scoring after that tremendous freshman year, and the defense, different group of defenders, but they've stepped up big time. So a lot to like, and looking forward to what should be a big one on Saturday at Georgia College, and then back home to the Sand Shark Gaming Network on Wednesday against Georgia Southwestern.
Awesome. Off to a great start over there. Keeps the good vibes keep rolling.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's if you can believe it, we're only a month away from hoops back in the Cove.
Yeah,
it's October already.
Happening.
I know you're looking forward to that, JJ.
I can't wait, man. I'm psyched to get to know the new players and get to see Courtney Campbell suit up as a Sand Shark.
Oh man, I completely forgot about her joining the team. Definitely gonna have to get out there.
Nah, it's gonna be super cool. But we had some volleyball. We didn't get on last night, so we had some volleyball on Tuesday though, including a little shakeup. Bluffton flipping the script and beating Buford 3-1. Hilton Head also took a set off Bishop England after playing really well over the weekend in their tournament. They beat Buford there as well. So I don't know what to make of it. Muddies up the middle of it.
Buford, because now Bishop England's really in the clear for the region title. I mean, Buford didn't afford to. They could not afford to drop a match to Bluffton, especially after it looked like you had a chance to play Bishop England. Now you're 2 games back, so you would need some help, and you need to beat Bishop England. So it's the road is a lot tougher for Buford now in terms of winning the region, but the 2 seeds up there for the taking. Buford's 4-2, maybe 3-2, Bluffton 3-3. So that second half of the round robin, or the second iteration of the round robin, is going to be a ton of fun as we go down the stretch in the season, a few weeks away from playoffs. But getting that 2 seed is important because it guarantees you the 4 through the 6 seed, so you at least get a home game, and the top 2 seed gets 2 home games. So I mean these matches are important. They may not be playoffs, but they're very, very important in determining region standing and seeding the playoffs. And good on Bluffton, because that was a close first match, and I told before it happened, like, that could have gone either way, but Buford was able to just do a little bit more and win that one 4, and it can flip easily. So good on Bluffton for coming back on the road. Not easy to do in Buford. May River couldn't do it, but Bluffton was able to. So just shows how close these teams are in terms of their skill out there. It is unpredictable when some of those especially Bluffton, Buford, May River. So should be exciting to kind of see where they all fit in. But looks like right now, they hold serve. They will.
Sounds like West fell in a well.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You're back now.
Yeah. Bishop Indian right now looking like the favorites in that region. For girls volleyball.
Bridges is rolling. They're 7-0 in region and haven't dropped a set yet. 21-0. Now their region doesn't test them, which
a team that got to the
we've
state
talked
title
about
match
before.
2 years ago.
Couple years, yeah.
2 years ago when they got to the state championship match and lost to a school that would have been, I think, oh my, what a catch! Oh no, he dropped it. Wow.
Who'd they lose to? I forget. It was one of the charters, right?
Yeah, it was one of the charters. It was St. John's Cruise. It was
St. Joseph's.
Yeah,
Christchurch.
one of those. I don't remember.
One of those.
But yeah, it was a charter school that they lost to in the championship match. But regardless, this Bridges Prep team cruising. I mean, you only can play the teams in front of you, and that's one that you.
And they've played a tough schedule outside too to try to prepare.
Yeah, no, they have. But I mean, I like the chances right now of going deep again this year. Now, Philip Simmons is off to. Philip Simmons might be a team. They're 27-3.
They're
I'm looking at prep. Atlantic Collegiate, of course, another one of those charter. It looks like they're 14-5. Chesney, North Central, Landrum, a couple of those strong teams. And I'm looking off Max Prep's ratings right now, but it's not going to be easy. Obviously, they're up in 2A. I believe they were 1A when they actually got to the championship match a few years ago. So, it's going to be tougher, but these ladies, at least some of them have playoff experience, which is definitely helpful. And you try to have a mix of scheduling those tough games, and obviously you can't control your region. You play who's in front of you, but good to see them. Good to see them cruising, which is kind of what you would expect from that team right now. But we'll definitely keep a close eye on them to begin the season as the season continues. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty expected. You got Barnwell, Edisto, Lake Mirren, Hampton County. This is not a murderer's row of opponents. So
they're rolling through it. The another team we need to keep an eye on volleyball wise is Patrick Henry. They've been rolling as well.
Yeah,
they're 12-2 now. They've been beating up on everybody. So they're looking tough for that Skiza tournament. JP2 has picked up a couple of big wins recently. They beat Wilson Hall tonight, it looks like, in 3 sets. So they're looking strong. And then our Hardyville girls got another win over Ridgeland. They finished region play 6-2. They finished second in the region, or 8-2 or whatever, 8-2, I think. So they finished second in the region, and will be well positioned to host. They'll host a home game in round 1. So excited about that.
It's funny because
yeah, go ahead.
What are you saying?
Go ahead, Wes.
No, I was just pointing out that the Hilton Head Christian Academy, which started the season red hot, just 2-2 in region play. Now this is, obviously they're playing tough 3A schedule, but
it's a tough region.
Yeah, they've beaten JP2. They've that's right, because I keep forgetting that sometimes at football and other sports are different.
They're
regions.
4A.
Right.
Yeah, they're 4A.
Yeah, they're 4A.
Yeah,
volleyball.
like I said,
it's easy to forget.
It's easy to forget that football and other sports are different regions. So you're on football mode, you forget about other sports have different regions, and So they have 4A volleyball, and I believe Lawrence Manning. They beat them, but they've had some tough games, having to go up to some solid squads earlier in the year. What is that? So they've tested themselves early. Wilson Hall, I believe, is in their region. JP2 is 2-0 from
they just beat Wilson Hall tonight. So they're off to a good start.
Yeah,
and they've got a strong program.
And they beat Hilton Head Christian Academy, then they lost to them in the rematch. So those will be fun matches between them and JP2.
It's gonna
actually they already played each other, did they? I'm confused. I'm sometimes teams play each other like
it's fine.
Region teams.
Well, sometimes they see each other in tournaments and
stuff too. So I'm like, trying to find which ones are region games. And okay, so yeah, region is one.
Well, I will say,
yeah.
Yeah, they still have another region game. It was a tournament.
Yes, they do.
that,
Yeah, October the
HFC
14th, they're
Yeah,
at
it
home
was a
at Christian
tournament.
Academy. So the region game they played was on the 25th, which was a JP2 win.
Yeah,
so
the other one was
that
a
was an
tournament
important
game.
one. And then they'll have to go to Christian Academy on the 14th. So that'll be a big one because JP2 will be going for the sweep.
will be
Of course,
big.
that is at HHG. So that'll be a nice one.
And
That'll be a fun one to go to.
That might possibly also be for a spot in the playoffs too. If I'm thinking
Who
about it, I
knows?
don't know if both would.
Who knows
end up
how they do
making
the playoffs?
But
Well, what they do in the playoffs
Yeah,
is they
I will
have travel
say-
like a neutral site, and it's like
Yeah,
it's
but
like
I
going
mean,
in terms
who
of who
knows
gets
how
in?
they determine who makes
Yeah.
it? Like,
I'm sure it'd be region finish, wouldn't it? I don't know.
to some degree, but I think they
Yeah.
factor in.
Well,
I think it's more of a
Skiza. You never really
seeded.
know. You never really know how Skiza puts their team in the bracket.
I think football's the only one that they
Football-
kind of do it
football's
straight
very
down the
formal.
line by
Yeah,
region
yeah.
finish, and everything
Right.
else is
Other
kind of a
sports, it's
seeded
like good luck.
committee. A
Speaking
committee
of
seeds the bracket.
speaking of volleyball, because I follow a lot of stuff regarding high school teams, and multiple Instagram channels that cover a lot of South Carolina high school stuff. And every week or so, they bring out volleyball rankings for each division, and I always keep an eye on it. And in the 4A division, they got May River sitting at 7th right now, and Bridges Prep sits 10th in the 2A.
Okay,
2A
where's Bishop
division
England in
as of right now?
Is this RPI? Like which?
Bishop England's higher. They sit 4th in the 4A division. And that's Palmetto Sports Report. You can follow them.
Oh, okay. So is this a
Instagram.
poll or is this just like? It's not computer rankings, is it?
I think it's someone putting together a poll.
Arbitrary.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
sometimes they have like coaches poll or just different kind
Yeah,
of
true.
media poll. I'm not sure what they do for volleyball.
I forgot about the RPI, but
well, the RPI is
Bishop England's number 6, May River's number 7, Buford's number 10, Bluffton's number 19.
That is important in terms of determining seeding. Obviously,
Sure is.
The top. Yeah, 4A is the interesting one because it's not all region. Well, region finish time determines like the first 3 and the second 3 and so on. But
right,
there's a lot more to it.
But then they use the
RPI
to seed it.
Yeah, so it's not like
right.
They're not set spots for like each region.
It's kind of tiered. It's tiered by region finish.
I like it. I do like it.
I do too. I think it's a solid. System.
Well, it's the best fix possible when you have 4 different 3 different regions in each of the bracket. So like
it's less arbitrary.
It's the best way to do it. You can't. It's hard to be because obviously you're trying to create 5 classifications, but then you can't quite fit 4 regions in each. So it's the best you can do, and it's a good solution.
I like it.
I like it.
I'm with
I
you.
absolutely like it. So
the Yankees have put one on the board and have the bases
and they're
loaded with
threatening
one
for
out.
more here in the 4th. Looks like 4 might be going to the.
And
it's getting out.
I just realized a few minutes ago that I was thinking of Mesa, Arizona. I don't know where I came up with Peoria, Illinois, because of course nobody does spring training. I think both teams have spring training in Mesa.
I think that checks out. The Cubs do for sure. The Cubs have a minor league team in Peoria, or did for years. I don't know if they still do, because a lot of those have gotten shaken up recently. But the Yankees are breaking it open, I'm afraid. All right, boys. Well, that was the bulk of the local sports news we wanted to get to. So let's talk a little football. We got week 6 on tap this week, and we got a full slate, 13 games by my count, because I initially had left one off my list, which is HHCA at Bullock Academy. So here you go. This is what we got in Region 6 4A. These are almost all region games, by the way. Beaufort at Bluffton,
That time,
Colleton
baby.
County at
Yep.
May River, and Bishop England at Hilton Head in Region 6.
Yep.
4A, Battery Creek traveling to North Charleston in Region 6 3A. In Region 5 2A, we got Edisto at Hampton County. Whale Branch has the week off. They're the bye week this week for that region. In Region 4 1A, we got Bamberg, Earhart, #1 team in the state at Hardyville, and Ridgeland at Denmark Olar. Non-region game, Hilton Head Christian going to Bullock Academy. First Baptist at JP2 in a region game. PD at Hilton Head Prep in a region game. Bethesda at Beaufort Academy in a really good game that's not a region game. Thomas Hayward at Patrick Henry, Lowco on Lowco region matchup, and the Kings Academy at Cross Schools. Where do we dive in, boys? Shall we start with the non-region games as our appetizers?
We could do that.
Start off with HHCA and Bullock. That's a game that is you'd love to say, boy, HHCA really needs a get right game here. They've kind of been going through it. They've played some really tough opponents. Well, it doesn't seem to get a lot easier. Bullock is 5-1.
Bullock is good.
They seem to be a pretty solid squad, but certainly, I don't think quite on the level with the last couple of teams that Hilton Head Christian has faced. But certainly we'll find out. But this is an interesting game for me because we need to see some stuff from Christian. And this is the kind of team they need to be able to beat if they're gonna, make a run in the playoffs. And I don't know enough about Bullock to know that much, but I know 5-1 speaks volumes. I don't know. Let me hear from you guys.
Yeah. Sounds like a quality team from Georgia from what first look of it, and I mean they beat shut out of Claxton. That's doing something because Claxton's. I mean they've been a decent team, but that's taking care of business there. Although this year Claxton is.
They're
0-6. They're not hot this year. But they shut them out as expected. But they went overtime over Robert Toombs Christian Academy. I mean, some of these teams are pretty solid opponents. So, I expect Hilton Head Christian Academy to be in a challenge in this game. This is why you schedule teams like this mid-season. You're open to brush up and get me even better. From the looks of it here. I want to see more from this offense because reading the column, like you know that he has the ability to be great in a game like this, but it's difficult when he just hasn't had the help compared to what you would hope to see, and that is where you'd like to see just the team as a whole find a way to execute better in a game like this because you drop one to Pinewood Prep and you were blown out pretty much on top of that as well, so. This is a situation where you'd love to at least put together a good effort in a game like this, and that is something they're going to have to find a way to do because it's getting to a point where it's October. This is where you really start to be gelling as a team, and yes, I know they have some solid guys that Hop is, like I said, he's been terrific out wide. They've had a couple of guys who have really found some secondary production, but at this point I'm not sold on Hilton Christian come in and take down a team that has been quite consistent to begin the year out there in Georgia. It's just a matter of I haven't seen quite enough to really convince myself the HHCA is ready on either side of the ball to really step up the game like this yet after not being quite competitive a week ago against Pinewood Prep. So, unfortunately, I think from first glance at it, I'm feeling like Bullock Academy has the edge. But like I said, I'm not the most aware of these Georgia sides, but just experiencing the vibes of Hilton Head Christian, I just don't see the same as been the past few years.
Yeah. Well, and it does look like Bullock runs the ball pretty well.
So. Here's the deal, in my opinion, guys. Hilton Head Christian Academy does not have the horses on the offensive or defensive line, and it can go into that, front seven on the defensive side of the ball too. when you can't pressure the position on either side of the ball, it makes it really, really difficult to lose. Difficult to win, excuse me. No matter, it makes it easier to lose. Difficult to win, no matter who you have in the skill positions, and they just don't have it this year, unfortunately. And this is one of the weaker areas of their team that I've seen in many years following this team. Certainly calling their games. It's a long year. They've got a lean team this year, and it's not going well. I like Bullock, unfortunately, and I like Bullock pretty big, I think.
Maxie?
Yeah, I kind of agree with all of you. I think for me, Hilton Christian, just and this has been a thing for the last couple of years for me with them, is they don't have size. They don't have size, and that's my biggest issue with them, is they don't have size on the trenches. You know, they are just underpowered. I think weapons-wise, I don't think Reed McCollum has enough weapons to go to, and I think the weapons that he does have not really been producing enough. And I think it's sad, because I really do like to see Reed McCollum win a state title, because I think he's a capable quarterback of winning a state title when he has the right weapons and excuse me, and a strong enough offensive line. I think this team would be really, really good, but they just don't have the size. I don't like how they've been playing this year. And despite the fact that they've been playing some really tough opponents, of course, Bethesda has been a juggernaut this year. Pinewood Prep's a juggernaut, probably will win the state championship at the 3A level, could easily compete against Hammond at the 4A level, being that they only lost to Hammond by 7 points. I mean, honestly, Pinewood Prep could actually make the 4A state championship. That's how good they are. And I think, you know, you look at the teams they've played, yes, very challenging opponents, but I still think, look, they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to make the playoffs, but I just don't think they make it past the first round of the playoffs. They just don't have enough talent-wise and size to be able to compete at the 3A level right now. And it's sad, because I really do. Obviously, I root for Hilton Christian always, but I just don't. I don't like how they've been playing this year, and I don't think they continue or, you know, get a get-right win on Friday. I'm taking Bullock Academy in this one.
Yeah, I will as well. And we can't spend 10 minutes on all the appetizers, guys. We're going to be here all night. It's going to be a 2.5-hour show. But no, they got raided in the portal a little bit on that offensive line. They lost a couple of starters who were returning to transfer, and that set them back a good bit. And that's been the problem. They can't stop anybody who runs the ball effectively, and they can't run the ball. So other than Reed McCollum scrambles, so that makes it tough. All right, another snack for you. This one's pretty appetizing though. Bethesda at Buford Academy. You got the Blazers red hot. Buford Academy kind of reeling after the hot start. They didn't lose last week, but they were down 14-0 before halftime to Colleton Prep after losing to Dorchester. So this looks like a tough matchup for BA to me, although the teams that have hurt them have done it more on the ground than through the air. Bethesda can do it both ways, and I think the Blazers are just red hot right now. Antoine Turner, great rivalry with Nick Shuford, and they've had some great games over the years. But I think Bethesda's got a little more firepower this year. I hope BA proves me wrong, but I like the Blazers in a fun, high-scoring game.
Yeah, I mean, take the over that first claim.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hammer the over.
Oh, yeah.
Hammer the over.
Others?
Yeah, give me
feelings.
Give me Bethesda. Give me Bethesda to win this one.
I'd love to see BA win this game, but I'm just interested in how do you, because this is just a very peculiar situation, because you look at BA down early against College Prep, the game that gets suspended, so now you just gotta move on to the next game. I kind of feel like that helps them a lot, because you reset, right, up against a tough team, and I mean when you play, they can be trailing, but like it's kind of like a clean slate in a way. Like you play
right.
Well
no,
early,
I think it's a huge benefit to BA.
I think you could have ask for more at that point if you're Buford Academy. Now you just get, more opportunities to get better against a quality team. It's just very I don't remember baseball, you see it sometimes.
It's a strange situation.
Really is.
Just to back up, I don't know that we've talked about this out loud on the show.
Really don't.
But the BA Carleton prep game that was called it before halftime on Friday will be completed on October 17th, 2 weeks from tomorrow. Both those teams had games scheduled that night, so those games are scrapped. BA was supposed to play Hilton Head Christian, that one is gone. And Carleton was supposed to play Lee Academy, that one is gone. Wes has suggested that Lee and HHCA should get together and play, which I think is a great suggestion. But we submit that to the Skis of Gods to determine whether they see fit. But regardless, that's what we're talking about. BA gets a 3-week layover, down 14-0 to try to figure things out, and that's better than just a 15-minute halftime. So, and they're going to get a 15-minute halftime right after they start back up. So that's going to be funny.
Wait, so was at what point was the game suspended? Was it half or was it?
No, it was not yet halftime. It was in the second.
It was not yet halftime.
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
Maybe 5 or 6 minutes left in the second quarter.
Will you have to pay again to get in now? Like if you were there before, would they charge admission again?
I would hope not. Might be free admission that night since they usually stop taking tickets at halftime anyway. So
like if it's a Major League Baseball game, like if
still got to pay for food though.
Your ticket would be good for the restart.
You would hope so. But those are questions I can't answer. Great questions, but I cannot answer them.
It's something that really hasn't happened before in terms of high school football. It's rare to see a game
get a wild situation.
Get suspended and then resumed weeks later. It's just you don't see it very often, especially in a big game like that. Like it's not like a average non-region game. This is a region championship game. So
the ones that weren't, they just called them.
Wes,
it was just over.
I'm going to keep things moving here. Wes and JJ, you convinced me. I like BA in this one. Obviously, we know what they can do, but with the fact that they have had some of that break and whatnot.
Marcus froze up. We can somehow by picking Bethesda.
Forget like I did at the beginning of the year. They're daggone good themselves. Give me BA.
Okay. I don't know how we convinced you to pick BA by picking Bethesda ourselves, but okay. I can live with it. Max, did you pick Bethesda already?
He did, yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. So we got 3 on Bethesda.
The schedule conversation had me
we convinced Marcus to pick BA. No, I know. I was just teasing. All right. Here's another little snack for you, just because they've already played this year. Kings Academy, cross schools. Unfortunately, a bit of a mismatch. Kings Academy won on August 15th, 33-0. They've won all 5 meetings. Stingrays have yet to score more than 6 points in a game against the Lions. So give me the Kings Academy on top over cross.
Yeah.
The Kings rang big.
The Kings rang.
Kings over cross in this one.
All right. Max, is it unanimous? Sure it is.
For what exactly?
Kings and
Cross. I said Trojans again. I can't mention Stingrays. It's not the.
The Cross Trojans are the 1A school.
No, that's what I mean. I keep confusing the Cross. It's like the Oakland Raiders thing. I keep confusing the.
San Diego Superchargers. All right. The Kings won 33-0 in week 0. Week -1.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
I'll put some faith in them this week. I'll go cross.
Oh, you're going cross? You're going to flip the script? Okay.
I'm going to go cross.
All right, then. Good thing there's nothing riding on this. All right, we'll work our way up from the bottom.
I don't have to eat crow for that one.
Thomas Hayward at Patrick Henry. This is an interesting matchup. This is a series that has been dominated by THA. 18-2-1 all time. They won 10 in a row, although most of those happened way back in the day. They've only played 3 times in the modern era since Patrick Henry went back to 11-man. And last year it was 51-33 in favor of Thomas Hayward. I think that was the closest to the bunch. It's been high scoring games.
Wow.
Man, I am not sure where to go with this one. Neither team has inspired a ton of hope. Patrick Henry has not done a whole lot on offense. It's pretty one-dimensional. It's really Rylan Brunson for the most part. But Thomas Hayward kind of in the same boat, and we haven't seen him play in ages. They've had
3 weeks
already wiped out. So I just don't know what to expect from THA. But I'm also having a hard time seeing what Patrick Henry's going to do to limit Tony O'Banner. I think Tony's probably good for good 3 touchdowns, and PHA's not been putting up a lot of points. So I kind of think Thomas Hayward breaks through here and takes the win, but it's a tough one on the road. Should be a pretty even matchup. What do you guys got?
I'll say 21-14 THA. Okay. Antonio Banner gets the job done. It's been a really, really tough year for THA. They've had their toughest year that I can recall ever since being here myself. It has not been good. You figure they're going to break out at some point. This would be the week to do it. I think Tony's going to get his boys right and get them ready to go. 21-14 THA wins.
All right. I can dig it.
That sounds about right. This Thomas Hayward team, I mean, you have Tony O'Banner, but you just need a little bit more around him to really make this team click. But even so, I mean, he's averaging, I don't know if Max Preps is correct here, but 200 yards a game. He's doing his part. It's just that.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. They just need a little bit more around. Josh Gibson's been a threat at wideout, but the defense just got to stop some. Yeah, find a way to stop somebody. I think that they're going to be able to do it in this matchup against PHA because the Patriots are having their own a little bit of struggles early in the year. They're trying to find their identity without some of the guys who have been so important centerpieces for them this season. So I mean, it's up for grabs. I think this will be in a way, it's an exciting game. Two teams that are looking to find a spark midway through the year, and I think a win by either would really go a long ways. As two teams that you expect that were kind of the outside threat, or maybe potentially more so Thomas Hayward for the region championship. But this is a big game for the seeding. I mean, you got BA, you got Carleton Prep, but 3-4 seed around there. There's a lot of line here. So I think it's going to be a tight one. I'm still going to go with the guy who I know can take over a game, Antonio Banner, and I trust the defense is going to find a way to stand tall and make a couple of stops against the PHA offense that I just haven't seen enough from this year. So I'm going the Rebels in a one possession game and a tight one over Patrick Henry.
I got it close as well, Max.
My question would be this: how good has PHA's defense been this year? I know that offense has struggled, but how good is the defense? I
mean, it hasn't been great.
Yeah, well, I don't think anything on either side of the ball has been overly fantastic for PHA this year. I think obviously Tony Banner's the problem. If you can stop that problem and you can shut that problem down and give an answer to it, then sure, I think PHA has a chance. But I will say PHA
did a pretty good job on Dorchester. Defensively, they held them to 20.
I mean, defensively, and that's why I'm wondering. Can PHA's defense hold up Tony O'Banner? And I think that's the question we ask.
But they did give up 172 and 2 touchdowns to Wetzel. So,
wow.
So I don't know. Hard saying.
The thing is, I don't trust either team. I really don't. Even Tony O'Banner, I don't trust either team. That's the problem I'm having. I'm gonna go Thomas Hayward, but I think this is a close game.
When the Panthers play the Saints,
I kind of agree with Marcus.
21-14.
I kind of agree with Marcus.
21-14. Carolina, Miami this weekend.
I don't trust either one of them.
Right.
And Chuba's hurt, right?
Yeah.
And Tyreek's hurt.
My God. So I mean,
bet the under. All right. So it was all Thomas Hayward. Did you go Thomas Hayward?
Yes.
Thomas Hayward. All right. Which is crazy because that's probably one of the more even matchups on the schedule this week. But we all
hey, I appreciate those kinds of games. Two teams looking
Woo!
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, that could go either way.
Yeah.
It'd be a good one.
Was that a sneeze, Marcus?
This one might not be
That
as
was a
good, but it
sneeze,
might
yes.
not be as bad as it has been.
Bless
PD
you.
at Hilton Head
Hey.
Prep. PD not quite on the level that they were for a few years there. They're 2-2 coming in. Hilton Head Prep at 1-4. Bummer that they didn't get to play last week against Dillon Christian because they had some momentum going into that one. But now that one is
That's another
rescheduled
game
for October
gone wrong for them.
17th as well. Dolphins, they had a 5-game win streak in this series at one time, but that was back when Ron Peduzzi was the coach. 4 in a row
Was
for
there,
PD
yeah.
now. They won 42-15 last year. So, you know, I'd love to think that Hilton Head Prep could somehow pull this one off, but I think the gap was just a little too wide last year. PD's a little down from where they were. I could see Prep keeping it close, using the afternoon delight to their advantage. But I think PD pulls away in the second half and takes this one.
Afternoon delight.
Everything's a little lighter in the bright of day. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah, right.
We will clearly be at this game.
Yeah, I agree.
Because of the fact that, or we will be at the Hilton Head Prep JP2 game next week because of the fact that the other game that we were finagling with because of HHCA BA not going on.
Right.
I really think that Hilton Head Prep can make this close for a while, but I need to see more of their horses, Wyatt Harmer and company, playing a full game. They're starting to take steps that way. You know, they do have one game and one win under their belt, you know, from a couple of weeks back, and that'll prove to have them surge forward as the year continues. But I think it's just going to be a little bit too much PD towards the end. I agree with you guys. I'm going to take PD. I think that it could be a little bit closer than some people think. Thinking maybe like a 10-point to 2-score game, but PD just a little bit too much.
Yeah, I'm on PD in this one. Although it's good to see Prep in the right direction.
Yes,
you're able to play a little bit more this year, but
what
can you do?
Yeah,
I like PD though.
Yeah, for me, I think I don't trust Prep still. Like I don't trust them right now.
Yeah,
I think they just, it's been tough for them this year just because of how weird their schedule has been, and I get that. I still don't fully trust them right now. And the thing for PD,
that's fair.
The thing going for PD is their 2 losses were to Williamsburg, which is always a strong football program, and Florence Christian, which again, 2 strong football programs. So that's their 2 losses. The other 2 wins were against Caroline Academy and Trinity Collegiate, which usually has a strong football program. And they only, you know, it was a 14-12 game. I think PD's better than what their record shows. I think they're a very strong program. I think they're a little bit down compared to last year, but I think that record doesn't show just how good PD Academy can be. And I think for that reason, I don't see this being a close game. I think Prep can keep with them for about a quarter, but I think PD Academy runs away the next 3 quarters. I'll take PD.
Fair. Yep. I kind of think so too. I think it gets away in the second half. All right. So we're all on PD. Region game, First Baptist at John Paul II. This is one that we felt like going into the season, JP2 might have a chance to win. And then JP2, you know, really exceeded our expectations early on and up to this point, I would say. So this feels like a very winnable game. First Baptist at 1-5. Let's see, the lone win coming against St. John's, not Christian, but the 1A school. They lost badly to Trinity. They lost badly to a lot of people. So they played Baptist Hill as well. So, you know, a battle-tested team, certainly, in First Baptist. But I like this JP2 team, and they got the week off unexpectedly last week when they were supposed to go to St. John's Christian, so they'll be well rested. I think I'm taking JP2 over at City Hall.
I'm taking them, and I'm taking them big. I'm so impressed with this team. I cannot wait to see them next week against Hilton Head Prep. It's going to be a lot of fun for us, and it's been a while since we've seen a closely contested matchup over at WHHI between those two teams. So I think that'll be a lot of fun next week, and I think it has a chance to be relatively close. Very impressed with what Shane Milligan has going on with that program. They just came in, that first game against Colleton Prep and flexed their muscles. And yeah, Colleton Prep didn't play their best game that night, but JP2 came ready to play, and they showed that they're a different team, and they've only proven it week after week from then on out to this point. I like JP2 to keep it rolling heading into that game against Hilton Head Prep on the road. JP2 wins big.
I like it. I like your thoughts over there, because this JP2 team, you look at the start of the year and what they accomplished, and the way we have seen Alan Wolf be that leader and tremendous clutch player at times early on in the season. I'm very excited to see JP2 in what should be an important game as you look at the entire microscope, or rather just the microscope of recency. This JP2 team has been erratic at times, but you just look at the schedule and how difficult it has gotten. I really do think that this Golden Warriors squad, you just look at what they've done from a year ago, already besting their win mark from that point on. It's just really cool to see the strides that Shane Milligan has already made with the program that has really found a way to stay in games, compete in games, and this is a big opportunity, I think, for the Golden Warriors, and what I expect to be a pretty evenly matched contest over there against this First Baptist side. It's great to have it at home. I hope they get a great crowd on here. It's always a nice place to take in a game over in Riveville. Now, I will say that JP2 would love them to get a field of their own in the future, but that's certainly sure that will happen down the road. But right now, there's something about Richard Gray that I've been there a lot for USC baseball. It's always a nice place to catch a game, and
it is a great place.
The same thing over there for.
It's all good vibes on Friday night. They've got a good thing going on.
Yeah, I mean, two big wins with Colleton Prep and Battery Creek early on the season. They played some tough ones recently. This is going to be a tight one. I believe in Alan Wolf. I believe that this team is going to find a way to make some big plays on the defensive end and get some stops and look to use an offense that has really found some added sparks this year. I like JP2. I think that they're ready to bounce back in a big way and pick up what would be a massive region win home. Jaden Bennett, what a powerhouse he has been.
Yeah.
Just as a freshman. I mean, they really needed another spark, and Anna Bennett has been that guy. It's been terrific to see what he has done just so early on in his career.
Yep.
So I'm going to think that he is going to have his way at some point, maybe not early, but in the second half with that energy, he's going to find a way to take it over. Or Alan Wolf is going to make some plays with his legs, or find his guy through the air. I think he's really grown a lot.
Don't forget about Andrew Boyden. Andrew Boyden is a bruiser too.
He's a dude.
Workhorse,
yeah.
Yeah,
but, I just like the way the offense is operated this year. I think they're going to get their chances, put some points on the board, and if their defense can stand tall, I think they've got a great shot of picking up what would be. Now, the Colleton Prep was a big win, but this is a region game. Every region game is even more.
Huge.
This would be probably the biggest win Shane Milligan's tenure so far. If they can get it done.
Yeah, although I think he beat Thomas Hayward, and I want to say he beat Thomas Hayward in like his first ever game.
He did.
And that was there. Massive. Yeah, that was a massive win.
DT 428.
Right.
He's THA 21.
Yeah.
It was a thrill.
But this would be right also, there, maybe bigger. So
that was actually Daniel Court's
this is an important game.
First game with Walsh and Court.
Yeah. Well, that one was important because it was their
this is going to be this is an important game.
It is.
Yeah, this is an important game for them because I think, if they get the win against First Baptist, it gets them, because I think they're going to obviously they're going to lose to Pinewood Prep. I think that's kind of a given, but I think you get this win against First Baptist. You go into that Hilton Head Christian JP2 game with the chance of finishing second in the region.
Correct.
And there's a really good chance there going into that. So this is a big game for them. And I think they get the job done against First Baptist. First Baptist, obviously, they've had a challenging sort of schedule. They played some solid programs, but they just haven't shown enough to me. I've watched some film on them. They're just not all there. I think JP2 gets the job done tomorrow night against First Baptist.
I like it. I like it. We're all on the Golden Warriors. All right, keeping it rolling through Jasper County. Ridgeland at Denmark Olar. Ridgeland coming off a big win over Hardyville. They've won 2 in a row. They beat Burke and then beat Hardyville. Defense is playing exceptionally well right now. There's not a lot to the offense. It's Bam Crawford slamming it up the middle for the most part. They'll freelance a little bit, but they're not real creative on offense. They keep it pretty simple. Let the defense win games, and right now it's working, and almost worked against Whale Branch too. They played a great defensive game there too. Denmark a little down this year. They've struggled with some teams that they normally wouldn't. They're 1-5. Ridgeland won last year 19-8, but completely different Ridgeland team this year. But I like the Jags. I was impressed with the way they played last week in the trenches. Their big guys are getting better. They're getting more athletic and more mobile, and they did good work last week. So I'm going to keep the Jags rolling on the road and putting themselves in position for a potential second place region finish.
I think you can build a lot from that rivalry win, and they were the more dominant team. I love Hardyville. I think they're still on the right track, but Ridgeland showed a lot of fight in quite a weird sequencing game because the rain played a factor. But hey, it's a win, and I really like the way that this Ridgeland team is bonding together. And I didn't expect to see what I witnessed out there, but Ridgeland's found a new gear right now, and Denmark Olar, a team 1-5 that is a little down. I mean, their only win was at Burke by 10 points, but their offense has not scored more than 6 points in any other game. I think Ridgeland's defense can stand tall and dominate, or at least show themselves as be the better side. And opportunistic defense or defense leaned opportunistic offense, I think, going to find ways to get short fields, maybe some defensive scores, and put some points on the board and shut down Denmark Olar the rest of the way. I like the Jags get it done and pick up
I do too.
Important win.
I really think the only way that they're going to score on offense, though, is from Bam Crawford. I do not think that offense can sustain much at all with the passing game because we still haven't seen it from Tayshawn Smith and company because the offensive line hasn't been able to make plays for him. That's really tough. But I said it at the Whale Branch game that I had our first game on WHHI this year, and I've said it all season. Their defense comes to play. Their defense comes to carry the team, and they will again. Give me Ridgeland thanks to that defense, and maybe, just maybe, the offensive line blocks just enough to give Bam some holes to go bam into the end zone. Maybe Ridgeland wins.
Hard. Yeah, I'll take Ridgeland. Maxie, did you pick him?
I'll take Ridgeland as well. I think the one thing I would say about Denmark Olar is we all know they have athletes on that team. They got strong physical athletes on that Denmark Olar team, and it's always caused some issues for multiple football programs. But I think execution is the key here. Obviously, on offense, Ridgeland has not executed in the way I was expecting them to. Obviously, the last 2 games, they've executed pretty well against Burke and Hardyville. But Denmark Olar, I think, is a different kind of team that they got to be really careful with, because if you make a mistake, Denmark Olar will make you pay for it. And so I think Ridgeland wins this game, but I think Denmark Olar is going to try to make this one close.
They'll try. We'll see if they succeed. Everybody on the Jags, guessing not everybody's on the Canes. I can't even bring myself to pick the home team this week. Hardyville at home against Bamberg. Earhart, number 1 in the state, undefeated, and looking like as good a team as we've seen out of Bamberg in a while. Our goal, I'll be honest, our goal at Hardyville this week is get out of this one. Get through this one, and then the next 3 are very winnable and set you up to host a first round playoff game if you went out. So because the brackets being weird now, so 3 seed in this region gets a home game against a 4 seed. So I expect Hardyville to be pretty run based and vanilla on offense, trying to hold the ball, run the clock, try to shorten the game and stay in it. But it'll take a lot to go right for it to be a close game. Bamberg is a unit, and I'll take the Red Raiders.
I'll take the Red Raiders of Bamberger Earhart.
Bamberger Earhart.
Shout out to Jerry Hatcher. We love you, buddy. I'm
going
to take Bamberg in this one.
Be Bamberger Earhart.
I really think that they've got a great program there. They've had a great program for a long time. Hardyville's done some great things. Again, taking away the score, obviously, and the injuries that happened in the first time that I saw Hardyville in action with I guess it was the second time technically, but the first time I called them with my own two eyes against Hilton Head, I was really impressed with what they've got, but too much Bamberger Earhart all night long.
Yep. Yeah, and Kyrell comes back next week.
That's going to be a huge lift for them when he gets back in there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think obviously Bamberg, number 1 team in the 1A division, and for good reason. I mean, I've watched some film on them. They are deadly. They got weapons on the outside. They got weapons in the backfield. They are a dangerous team. And I kind of agree with you, Justin. They, if you're Hardyville, your goal is to get out of this game. If you score points, great. That's fantastic. But if not, get out of that game as quickly as possible, because I just don't see it. I'll take the Red Raiders. And I think Bamberg puts up a whopper on Hardyville. Give me Bamberg Earhart.
Wes?
Yeah. I'd love to see the Canes compete, but this Bamberg Earhart team. They've proven why they are a force to be reckoned with. This is a tough matchup for a Canes team. It's coming off a tough loss, and to a rival team, and now you got to go up against the number 1 team in Class 1A. So, wish the Canes luck, but Bamberg might be running all over them on Friday night. So
yeah. All right, 5 to go in 2A. Edisto at Hampton County. This is a fun matchup because Edisto is now the home of the former Estill coaches, Livingston and Singleton. They were at Estill, then Estill went into Hampton County. So they had a great rivalry with this program before, and now they have a kind of conflicted rivalry because they still got some of their Estill guys on this squad that they coached. Edisto turning things around the last couple of years. Those guys have done a great job there. They've got them playing good ball. They're 4-2. They just blew the doors off of Denmark, but this is a different level. Hampton County is very hungry too, coming in, losing 3 in a row. Really tough loss at Christchurch last week in a close game. Hurricanes have dominated the last 2 meetings by 86 points, 43 on average. But I think this will be a little bit closer. But I do think Hampton gets the win. Give me Hampton pulling away by 3 touchdowns or so at the end in the second half.
Yeah, and I think Hampton right now they're frustrated. They're trying to say it's PG friendly, but they're unhappy with how
mad as hornet.
Couple of few weeks, and they're going to be hungry, and they're going to be ready to go in a big region game. I feel like if they can play at their level, which I know they will, and a lot of that's Agent Zero. If Singletary can really get loose and make some magic of his own, which we have seen in some big games recently, but defense has been finding a way to stop them just a little bit. I'd like to see the offense expand because they've got some other guys and maybe get the passing going a bit, but I think their MO is run the football this year, and expect to see a lot of that with Singletary and company. So I think if they can get the offense rolling early, they could pull away big in this one. I think they do so, and I like Hampton in a decisive 3-score or more win over Edisto. I think the Canes roll in this one.
I completely agree. Hampton is PO'd. They are definitely going to be ready to go in this one. They lost a couple of games against 6-4A opponents, and then last week against Christchurch, they're ready. They're like sharks. They are like sharks looking for blood right now. They're gonna win this one going away, big time. Hampton County back in the win column.
Canes. Cat 5.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think
Maybe a
obviously
cat
you look
6.
at you look at Edisto. Yeah. Obviously, you look at Edisto, they've had a great season so far, fantastic season. But you look at those 2 losses they've had. Bamberg Earhart, very solid team. Obviously, they lost 42-8 to Bamberg Earhart. Then they lost 55-0 to Orangeburg Wilkinson. So I mean, like, apart from those two losses, they've played some great football. But I mean, I think Hampton County is kind of on that level of Bamberg and Orangeburg Wilkinson, if not higher up in terms of levels. I think Hampton County's coming in this game. They're PO'd, and I think they come out with a fire. I think they get the job done. It was funny because I had someone asked me, "Are you worried about Hampton County?" And I said, "Absolutely not." I think you look at those 3 losses. It's Bluffton, Hilton Head, and Christchurch. And that game was on the road at Christchurch. That's a long drive for Hampton County, and they played as well as they did. I'm not worried about Hampton County. I think they get the job done. I think Hurricanes take down Edisto.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't play very well against Bluffton, but they played really well in the first half against Hilton Head, and then the storm came and they didn't play well in the second half. And then they came out and played really well this week and just came up short.
Yeah,
so
I mean, that was a good effort on the
fine.
road. Very, very good effort.
I'm not worried.
I mean,
I was never worried.
They're still ranked in 2A, which they should be. And there's certainly, I don't think we mentioned the ranking
100%.
this week, but Hampton County 7-2A, and the team we haven't talked about yet. So I guess we'll wait until we get to them. By the way,
they'll move back up. They'll move back up those rankings.
Also,
they'll move back up.
Busy week, and I've been watching too much baseball, but so I'm having. But players of the week, I don't know if you got. I don't know if
we can go through.
We can kind of
some of them here in a little bit.
Yeah,
we'll do it at the end.
Busy times.
Yeah,
a lot going on.
Well, it was a weird week. You had incomplete games and games rained out.
True.
It was a weird week.
But we kind of.
But we do have some.
We'll do
that later.
We gave some shout outs to some guys.
We'll do that later. Yeah, we still got 4 games.
Yeah, no, let's keep it going.
Battery Creek at North Charleston. This is a must-win game, although it's not, because I looked at the bracket. They all 5 get in the playoffs, no matter what. But it's a must-win game if you want to win a game in region. Yeah, don't ask me. I don't make the rules. I just tell you about them on live streams. But they're all 5 teams in that region get in the playoffs this year. They get the 5th spot rotates between regions, and they get it this year.
Makes sense, but
whatever. But
Fair
anyway,
enough.
Battery Creek 2-4, coming off a big win over Whale Branch in a abbreviated game. North Charleston is at 4-1, but has not exactly played a murderer's row of opponents. Battery Creek leads the series 10-7. They won 47-14 last year, and have won 8 of the last 9. I think they had 7 straight before they lost 2 years ago. So give me the Dolphins. I think they've won 2 of their last 3. I think they're going to keep it going. Ed Susi's squad turning the corner. I liked some of those highlights I saw last week against Whale Branch. They got some juice in the young squad. So go Dolphins.
They're riding high with momentum, and they've made some big plays throughout the year. They're putting things together really well, and like you said, JJ, with the fact that certainly they have the upper hand in this rivalry, and competition's not been completely terrific. I like BC to keep it rolling. I think they have a chance to get a couple more, make it real interesting there in 6-3A. I'm going to take the Dolphins as well.
I don't think they're beating Oceanside or Orangeburg Wilkinson.
I don't think so. Those teams have been on tears.
I think they can.
This seems like always. This has always been a tight one throughout the years between these 2 teams. They've both been on the same level. It's been either to get in the playoffs or to get that 4 seed and move higher in the region. But it's a toss up in my opinion. But I like Battery Creek by the way they played against Whale Branch. Everyone else went with the Warriors. I did go with the Dolphins, and I was impressed by how they performed. Once again, a weird week. It wasn't a full game, but hey, they took advantage of the opportunities early, and that's important. So I think Susie's squad has really started to find a bit here, and going on the road, it's never easy. But I like the way they played a week ago. I'm really impressed by the way the offense has found some sparks over these last few games, and even though obviously they haven't won them all, they've looked good in a decent amount of them. And I think if Battery Creek continues that same mentality when you go on the road against a hostile team in your own region, that's a game you got to be ready for. And I think they're going to be primed and excited to embrace this opportunity. I'm pumped. I'm pumped. I think Creek is on the up and up, and this is one they need to continue that momentum, or else it's going the other way again. You don't want to see that happen. So I think they'll be ready, and I think they get it done in a one score game. I'll say they win it by 3 points.
Oh, close one, Maxie.
Oh, okay. My thing is obviously Battery Creek hasn't had the toughest of schedules, and they haven't played great through those. Obviously, they had Beaufort, which that's a tough game given in and of itself. You look at North Charleston's schedule. Obviously, you mentioned Justin 4-1, and their games: Military Magnet, Cross, Baptist Hill, St. John's, and Stall. I mean, that's not really a challenging schedule by any means. I think for that reason, I love Battery Creek, especially with how they played against Whale Branch. I know weird game, weird with how it ended. But I like Battery Creek in this game. I think they get the job done because the remaining schedule for Battery Creek is not easy. Obviously, of course, you still got to play Oceanside, you got to play Orangeburg Wilkinson, and you got to play Hanahan. Although I am intrigued about that Hanahan game when it comes around. Because I think Battery Creek could have a shot in that one. But yeah, this is a must win for them 100%. And I think they get the win. I'll take Battery Creek over North Charleston.
All right. It's unanimous. We're on the Dolphins. Colleton County at May River. This one looks like a mismatch. May River has won all 7 previous meetings by an average of 28.3 points. Closest finish, an 11-point game in the first meeting back in 2018. It was 42-6 last year. Sharks,
I was there.
They're going to feast big time.
Yeah,
at home.
I was there last year. Colleton County did a couple of things at home to make it interesting. They played tougher than the score indicated, but May River is just absolutely dominant. And I'm going to be able to see them over the next handful of weeks, a couple of times, it looks like now with our schedule. I like May River. I like May River big, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see like a 42-6 type game. This May River team, it seems to me as if, and we say this a lot about Hilton Head, that they're the team that's just kind of laying in the weeds. Hilton Head's not that team. May River.
You're not laying the weeds anymore. I could tell you that.
I think May River is.
I'm with Marcus. That team.
Yeah, I agree.
Just going about their business, getting it done.
Playing really well.
And they're doing it very quietly, but they're playing outstandingly well.
If they would have beaten West Ashley and been undefeated, then they're probably
that wouldn't have been very quiet.
Top 10 ranking. But at that one, they really should have won. But
and obviously, last year I was extremely high on May River. Not quite as high this year, but they're playing outstandingly well.
They are, like they're 1-2 punch in the backfield. I mean. You expected it to be that way, but the way they've really stepped up and the blocking has been excellent. I mean, it's the defense. The defense always comes to play at most times for May River, and I mean, like I said, they can throw 1 or 2 passes a game, but you never know when they're coming. Sometimes
make them count.
This time, but yeah, Sean Mitchell has been the breakout guy for the Sharks team this year, but they've got other guys too, and it's a fun squad. I think they get the better of Colleton County and control them pretty much the whole way. I'd say May River big. May River.
Sean Mitchell already up to 797 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns in 5 games. So
he's He's among some of the top running
strikeouts
backs
for
in
Cam
state right now.
Schlittler.
Yeah, I know he's dealing.
Yeah,
My goodness.
he's dealing. I would say this, you know, we all know these sharks feast when there's blood in the water, and Colleton County is definitely bleeding. So I don't think Colleton County has any way of winning this game. I like May River, and like you said, they've been that that team in the weeds, and I completely agree with you on that. I think they've been quiet, ready to attack. They're hunting, but very quietly.
I mean, as a Hilton fan, I'm a little worried now. I obviously you can't look ahead, but
I think any team in this region should be worried about May River. Even Bishop England,
state playoffs, like that's a team that can be a sneaky squad in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're a really tough prep. They're a really tough prep on a short week.
I think
it's one thing when you know all season you're going to have to play them.
Right.
It's another when you find out.
Yeah.
Today that you're going to play them in 6 days. Like that's a bear.
Yeah. I'm taking May River. I'm taking May River in this one. And if I'm Bluffton, Hilton Head, I mean, even Bishop England, I'd be a little worried about May River with how they've been playing. I'll take May River in this game.
We say they're laying in the weeds, but they all know about them.
No, I'm just saying that we haven't talked about them as much as we should. I mean, obviously we have, but just felt like it's been Hilton Head's off to a great start. Bluffton's had a great year so far, but I mean, May River has been like they've been there. They've been They've been teaching.
All I'm saying is they're laying in the weeds, but not for the other coaches.
Not for the coaches. They know who they are.
They're very aware.
Yeah.
If you've played against them before, you know what you're getting yourself into. It's the same. It's very consistent. You know what you're getting from those guys.
They are who we think they are.
Good point.
Exactly. But we're all on May River. Yeah, and they don't hide it. They're pretty pretty transparent.
No, they don't. Yeah.
All right, I'm saving the best one for last. But WHHI TV game of the week, not the game of the week for me, but it is a game of the week. And it's a great game.
Good game of the week.
And it's got to be a game of the week for WHHI because it's Loco on Loco. It's a great rivalry. Buford and Bluffton. Buford leading the series 9-6. Bluffton 42-35 last year. That snapped a 5-game losing streak in the series. Buford hadn't owned it. But, Bluffton got to be considered the favorite this year, especially at home. But they're coming in off 2 straight losses and kind of limping in. McCarthy played phenomenally last week with his legs.
That really surprised me. It
didn't
really
surprise me. He's got that in his game.
Yeah, I mean, we knew he had him, but just to really carry the team on his legs early. The defense will make a couple of big stops.
But I mean,
the offense played very well for Hilton Head. But yeah, McCarthy kept that team in the game in a good stretch of that ball game, and he.
Because I mean that's all he could
badly
get.
At all. I mean, he was.
That's all he could do was get.
He was very good. Hilton was just a little bit better. But
I tell you what, guys.
In a different way, I'm sure you would love to execute just a little better in some important moments in that game. But still a long way to go. And
I think what this one boils down to for me is I just can't imagine a scenario in which Buford can outscore Bluffton.
Right.
In this
Buford's
their offense just hasn't shown.
They've been better,
they're
but
going to have to get off to a fast start.
Really sold on the offense at this point against a Bluffton D that has been solid for the most part recently. Hilton Head was able to execute in a long pass game a couple of times, and but I just don't know Buford has that kind of firepower and execution that Hilton Head has. I just think they're lacking a bit in terms of that breakaway star power that they had in PC Fields and Ferris and those guys. I just haven't seen enough. Even though the Eagles, they took care of Battery Creek, which you expected. They had that miraculous win over Goose Creek, but it's the Bluffton's a big step up.
That's the big key there, Wes. Buford doesn't have quite the talent that they had for this matchup a year ago. Smalls is gone.
Live is a terrific coach.
Other guys are gone.
The other thing is, I mean, this is a Amari Patterson revenge game for Amari Patterson.
True.
So it's, you'd expect him to be a big component in that game for Bluffton. I think he goes off, or at least has some key moments in that game, because Bluffton's going to want to find a way to get him the ball. early and often.
I think that, and I'll just make this key, and then I'll let you guys pick it because I'm not picking the game.
Right.
I think that Buford has a chance to keep it close early, even with it being on the road. I think if they come out defensively, make some plays, and keep it close early. But Bluffton has weapons everywhere. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to calling it. It's where I started my career was the Broad River
after
Bulls.
A loss, I just think they're going to be more refined. I think Aiden Gregory's has really worked them tough in practice this week, and I just think they're come out ready to go back at home against a Buford team that that you can't sleep. I mean, you can't sleep on. They're still a very tough squad. Lybrand's a terrific coach. Two phenomenal coaches, by the way. I mentioned this earlier in the week, but like I said, I just think the firepower on both sides. I think Bluffton just has a little bit more. I think Buford is going to find a way to make a few stops in the first half. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a one possession score at the half, but I just don't think they're going to hang with them for 4 quarters. I think Bluffton's going to find a way to get an explosive play here and there and pull away. Whether it's a big play on the offensive side or a defensive play that can spark things. Because like I said, I'm still not sold on Buford's offense. I just think Bluffton right now, they're a little more refined. They have just a bit more depth on that team. And I just think Gregory's going to push them to come out hard in a game like this. So I got the Bobcats, I'm going to say about around 2 scores. I think Buford hangs in there for a bit. I don't think it's a complete blowout by any means. I think the Eagles will come in like this is a region game. These two coaches know each other. It's not going to be a surprise. Right. I'll be surprised if Bluffton wins by 35 or 40. It could happen, but I just don't see it. I think he's going to make this.
I'm with you. I don't think that's 21.
My thing is, it's funny because after that Buford Battery game, I came on to the show and y'all asked me, "Do you have any more trust in Buford?" And to be honest, no. I mean, that's what I said on that show, and I still don't trust Buford right now. Obviously, yes, they have a football team that is capable of winning games, but not in this situation. I think Bluffton's just too dangerous on offense. Now, Buford's defense has been pretty solid this year, and I've liked that in them.
It has.
I just think their defense is going to be able to hold Bluffton for 4 quarters, and I think for that reason, I got to go with Bluffton in this one. I think they get the job done, but I don't think it's a blowout either. I think this could be a 2-score game, 3 maybe more likely there, but I think it could be a 2-score game.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, I could see it being like, maybe Buford plays really tough first half. It's 14-7 at halftime or something, and then it ends up like 35-14 or something along those lines. Yeah. But yeah, I think Bluffton's just got too much for them. They'll wear them down and get the win, I believe. But we'll find out tomorrow night on WHHI TV's YouTube live stream, and then you can watch it on the TV later in the week.
Nothing like it.
And then finally, this one going to be live on Buford's own Beaufort County TV. Bishop
now,
England,
this is my game of the week.
Yeah, mine too. Bishop England 5-0, number 3 team in Class 4A this week at Hilton Head, 5-1, and the number 10 team in Class 4A this week, swapping places with Bluffton after the big win. Last year was the first meeting. Bishop England won it 21-7 up on Daniel Island. So this was
the point where you knew that Hilton Head was right there. Like they're going to compete. Yeah. Their defense was playing well. A year later, and I think they're at an even higher level. And this, I think, is anyone's game. Heading into what should be a tremendous battle out on the Nest tomorrow night. And as a Seahawk fan, I remember last year in the playoffs getting hype. But I think by the way this season has been going, I mean, your only loss, tough one to James Island early in the year. That's a very, very good James Island team, by the way.
Where you lost your quarterback during the game,
and now you get Rynishevsky, back in there and just really, really refined. I mean, I could not be more complimentary and proud of what he did late in that game to seal it. That's just a big man throw right there. And it was not the only time where he made some tremendous throws in that game, but geez, he has been terrific recently. And I think he's going in with a bunch of confidence heading into So what will get? Obviously playoffs last year are big, but this is the biggest game just in terms of opportunity. Like you have a chance to win a region championship. I don't remember the last time Hill has won a region championship in football. It's been a while.
Oh,
and if winning this one would go a long way. I'm not saying this is the game because you still got work to do afterwards. But if you can find a way to win and you get it home, which I think is huge because that's a tough place to win on the road at Pigskin.
No doubt.
Have it at home for your friends and fans in the nest. This team is going to have the extra spark. I hope early, and I think we're going to see it happen. Although I will say this Bishop England team, their defense has been legit this year. It's if you're Renishevsky,
they're very good.
You just got to be extra careful with the football. Do not force throws that you don't think are there, and lean on your run game. Take what they give you, and just find ways to execute and convert as much as possible. Because I love the way this offense is going, but you cannot make mistakes against this defense. If you give them opportunity, they're going to find ways to pounce, and that's the big really component in this game. But I'm excited to see how the Seahawks defense does because this Bishop England squad, they've got some dudes. Quinn Mahoney has been the truth this year. He has been stellar. Having just a tick over 200 passing yards a game, but he's been really efficient. 12 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions. He's not over much. So if you're Renishevsky, you really got to be careful with the ball. This offense is going to have to find a way to produce at points in this game, and we'll see if this defense can find ways to put together some timely stops. And I was impressed by the way that Zarnecki played a complete game. He was terrific on the offensive end, make some big stops defensively. You're going to need your guys to step up. I trust BJ Payne. He's going to get a good plan going to try to limit this offense because you can find ways to put pressure on Mahoney, make him uncomfortable on the road. He's done a great job getting the ball out and finding his top guys. But can you just 602 completion percentage is very good. Can you find a way to affect that, force some incomplete passes, get the behind the sticks? I think that Payne is going to have them ready to produce at some big points in this game. And if you can just get a stop or two early and get some momentum, produce some long extended drives on the offensive side, that's what Hilton Head wants to do. They want to, build a lead early and use that run game to overpower you and take some shots when necessary. I just like the way BJ Payne has produced just some incredible wonders with this team early and some guys you expected, but also some guys who have really stepped up. Risher has been such a key addition. Zarnecki's been even better. Mm-hmm. And the guys up front have been producing. I just think this Hilton Head team right now, this is the most complete I have seen this team play. I know they had seen it the last couple of years. I just think as a whole, this squad, oh my goodness, a catch into the dugout, I believe, for New York. Nothing going right for the Red Sox in this one. But hopefully things will go right for the Seahawks tomorrow and they find a way to at least keep this one close heading towards the end of this ball game tomorrow. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere. I think that Hilton Head, the defense is going to come out flying. They're going to have an opportunity to make some stops early, and if they can get going with Renishevsky and this attack that has found a way to produce in clutch moments last week, a couple of big third down conversions to move the chains. Right. I'm very impressed just by the composure and the will of the Seahawks team, and this would be one of the bigger wins of BJ Payne's era if they can get it done at home and get the Bishop England team ranked where they are. Top 5 team, number 3 and 4A. This probably would, in terms of just beating a quality team, this might be the biggest one I have seen over here for the next. So what an opportunity, and I just have a good feeling they're going to find a way to seize it tomorrow night and win what I think is going to be a classic of a ball game.
So you think they are winning?
I'm going with the Seahawks. I'm going with the Seahawks in a close one.
Putting on the Seahawk head.
I am too. I actually, when you were talking about that pass at the end of the game, it all of a sudden flooded back to me, and I think it definitely is going to impact, my top 3 players of the week for sure. That was tremendous with that pass to Walters to win it. Just a really gutsy performance last week by this Hilton Head team. And I agree with you in so many ways, Wes, that this team just continues to impress predominantly with what they can do offensively, but their defense is stout too. Number 3, Josh Bigger. The dude is a sack machine. He's one of the best defensive players in the state. He's absolutely phenomenal. He's been phenomenal the last couple of years. Obviously, we talk about the 3-headed monster of offense, defense, special teams. They've got 2 guys that can kick and kick really well. I know Bishop England's really good, but with the way that Hilton Head is playing with this game at home, they continue to have positive momentum week after week after week, it seems. I'm going to go with Hilton Head, and I think they can win by a good couple of scores. This team is so daggone talented, and I think they're going to get the job done.
All right. Well, Max?
Yeah, I think I don't think it's a 2-score game. I think it's a field goal. I really do. I think Bishop England's a very strong team, obviously, being that they are ranked among the top 5 teams in the 4A division. I don't think it's a 2-score game. I do think Hilton Head can get the job done. Obviously, I think both Bluffton and Hilton Head realized how difficult it is to get a win over on Daniel Island. They both realized that last year, especially when they played that Bishop England team. I think they get the job done this time around. I think Hilton Head's a really strong team, and I got to witness that last Friday against Bluffton, and who are both very strong, talented teams.
Yeah, they are.
I think this Hilton Head team's got everything figured out right now. They've been playing really solid football. I mean, don't even look at that James Island game, because that James Island team's just on another level compared to Hilton Head. I think Hilton Head gets the job done, but I think it's a three-point game. I think it's a 3-point game for Hilton Head.
All right. I will also go Hilton Head. I just, like you, Wes, I've been super impressed with their execution, with their poise. I mean, you always know Payne's going to have a good game plan, and then it's up to the kids to execute it. And they have been executing. They were phenomenal last week, and I think that the challenge is pretty similar defensively this week, but I think they're prepared to handle it. And then that offense is just really confidence inspiring. You mentioned the 3rd down pickups. They're never panicked. They're always in control. They're always playing the long game, and just building off the drive, taking what's there from the defense. So I like Hilton Head in a really close game. I think a field goal situation could be possible. Bo Sexton could play a factor once again. Definitely an experienced and poised kicker. So I'll take Seahawks in a close one. And that is all. That is all the games. But as we mentioned, players of the week from last week, it's kind of a hodgepodge list that I have here together.
If I can,
not really much to choose from.
If I can lead off, because my opinion slightly changed. Okay. I originally was going to go from the ultimate level without question.
Go Zarnecki.
Yes, ultimate. Thaddeus Zarnecki did it in all 3 phases: offense, defense, special teams. When he got hurt, I thought that it was either a knee or a lower leg. And I thought, oh, crap, he's done, and this could be a big factor. We talked to him after the game, and he said it was a cramp. It was a bad cramp. It's not going to happen again. I know what to do differently next week and beyond. It was a cramp. I'm good. He was absolutely tremendous. Defensively, I just mentioned him, Josh Bigger. He was bigger than life last week, and he's been bigger than life on the defensive end for that team and in the area for a long time. I've loved watching him just get better and better and mature over the years for sure. On the offensive side, I was going to go Aiden McCarthy, predominantly because of what he was able to do. It really surprised me with the fact that he was able to run the ball as well as he did, plus catching the pass there on the trick play, or it was either a pass or a pitch. I think it was a pitch on the trick
It was a
play,
pass. No,
and
it was
he
a
ended
pass.
up. That's right, it was, and he ended up scoring the touchdown there. But then I thought about what was done from Renijetsky throwing the deep ball there, Walters, to give them the edge and eventually give them the win. I'm going to go Renijetsky is my offensive player, defense bigger, ultimate is Zarnecki, and a special mention certainly for the great job that was done there by Aiden McCarthy. It was just a thrill and easily the best game we've had all year.
Yeah, I mean, just it's hard to it's easy to forget what a job that he has done in a couple of tough losses this year. I can go back to the game before against Lucy Beckham where he was tremendous.
Yeah, where he had like 395 or
yeah,
something.
I mean, he's putting up some incredible numbers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so just another props to how well that McCarthy has been playing. I mean, I look at some of these quarterbacks bluffing his hat. I think Max von Hohenstraten really paved the way a couple of years back. And now you're seeing just an even better quarterback at the helm, and Aiden McCarthy, who I think has really found. I mean, they've had some good, like Lee Kirkland a couple of years back before, who of course
CJ Frazier.
They've had some CJ
Bays.
Frazier, of course. Yeah, they've had some dudes over there, and McCarthy's done.
I haven't quite been. Sorry to interject here. I haven't quite been at my best tonight. Daniel's first game with me was the Bluffton THA game when we saw Mad Max von Hohenstraten for the first time.
I remember that game. The overtime game
Hayward
against
had
Thomas
him
Harris. I was there.
29-22 overtime game.
Yep, I was there.
Wow. You were right there with us. It's right. You should know. You were there.
Oh man, that was a wild one. One of the better ones I've seen.
Those were my player of the week picks as well. Mostly because of the magnitude of the game.
Yeah, and also
May River.
We didn't have many games.
Shout out to a couple May River guys though. Sean Mitchell.
We didn't have many games completed around the area, so like.
And we had some lopsided losses in there.
Yeah.
But Mitchell was 24 for 206 and 3 TDs and caught a touchdown and had a pick. Phenomenal night.
I'm not sure.
Jalen Singletary losing effort.
A nice game for Hampton. I'm not sure who else, but
32 for 187 and 3 touchdowns for Jalen Singletary. Losing effort.
All right, there you go.
Defensively for May River, Xavier Polite with 10 tackles, 9 solo, 5.5 tackles for loss, a sack and a half, and a pass defense. That's great. Denaro Henry was great for Ridgeland with 8 tackles, 6 solo. But like you mentioned, Marcus Bigger had 5 solo tackles, 4 for loss, 2 sacks, and 5 quarterback hurries. And that pressure on the quarterback was so important to executing their game plan.
Like the Tasmanian devil.
Cover forever downfield. So yeah, he was just disruptive. Just disruptive.
Yeah.
So that's some of your week 5 players of the week, and we'll see tomorrow night who puts up the numbers to be in your week 6 players of the week. All right. We haven't shouted out a lot of sponsors, but thanks again to our all-star sponsors, Mickelson Law Firm, our OGs, been with us since the beginning, calling them for all your legal needs. They're our official real estate closing attorney and presenting sponsor of the Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage here at LowcoSports, and WHHI TV, our partners in local sports. Check out Marcus, Daniel Court, and the gang, including Max and Jeff Riley and Kevin Libby and all our friends tomorrow night on the Broad River Bowl.
Forrest Tucker too.
On the YouTubes. All right.
I'm going to get Forrest on here one of these days soon.
Yeah, I need to reach out to him. Yeah. Also, shout out to Hudson Seafood House on the Docks, presenting sponsor of Under the Bus. New episode came out Tuesday night. Go check it out on the Loco Media Network, as well as HHI Windows and Doors, improving your view of the Low Country. Twinge and Twombly, personal injury attorneys in Beaufort. Rare name, remarkable service from Twinge and Twombly. And then we've got Reverence Wrestling Club, our official wrestling sponsor and presenting sponsor of the Loco Grind, and Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. All right. Parting thoughts, fellas. Get us out of here. Marcus Walsh.
Well, I'm wearing my Guardians golf shirt. Tough loss tonight for them. I tell you what, you can always go hindsight 2020, and I was texting with the fam after the loss, I would have stuck with Ciccone for another inning or so. I think he was at about 50
He was
pitches
doing
with
pretty good.
2 1/3 innings done, and yeah, they just didn't have the bullpen. I mean, Cantillo even struggled at the outset of his outing. He ended up finishing up okay, but Heron, ouch. A bunch of other guys just didn't quite have it because they were so thin from yesterday, and as much as they had to work yesterday, because Tanner Bybee, only as terrific as he only went 4 2/3.
Yep.
And that was the big key. You know, a lot of this season was the fact that the bullpen wasn't as taxed overall, but it certainly still was in some key moments. You know, there were so many times during the course of this whole season, including when I went up to see them at the end of June, that I thought there's no way this team can make the playoffs. And as Tom Hamilton, the radio voice of the Guardians, said, just the fact that they got to where they got to is an accomplishment.
Really?
But clearly, something has to change with this team. And I think we saw a lot from guys like CJ Kafis and certainly at times Angel Martinez, and then seeing a couple of the newest additions, DeLauder, you know, was able to make some things happen certainly, and Brian Roque, oh my gosh! So the opportunities were there. It didn't happen, but season could be very bright coming up for sure for them in
I mean,
in
I'll tell
26.
you what, even though it hurts to lose in the postseason, I'll tell you what, getting there is a heck of a whole lot better than having your season end a couple days earlier, or at least playing meaningful September games, because there was a look a couple weeks ago like it was seemingly over for the Guardians. So to produce that kind of a run, make history, overcoming a 15.5 game deficit, I mean, that is unheard of. So
George Valera too was absolutely outstanding in just a month. I mean, he hit some big home runs in the month of September and then into the playoffs in that series that just finished up. He's going to be a big factor on this team. Wouldn't surprise me if we see him a lot in right field and center field.
Unless something absolutely crazy happens in the next few minutes. It's like JJ JJ's team will be the only one
carrying the banner.
3 that will advance. The Cubbies are in to the division series against, as I mentioned at the top, against the Brewers. So that should be a lot of fun. But man, even as a fan of, I mean, look, I'm supposed to hate the Yankees, and I naturally don't like them, and I don't like them. But sometimes as a sports fan, you just got to tip your cap. And my goodness, Cam Schittler, just otherworldly in this play. 12 strikeouts. I mean, I'll tell you what, I will say he was outstanding, but the Red Sox, I think they really lost the series unless something crazy happens now. But game 2, I mean, two big plays. The bunt pop-up by Rafaela, where, I mean, you got to find a way to either lay that one down or let him swing the bat, because he's been swinging the bat really well. Of course, he had that walk-off to make it in. So I think that's an example of, if you're not confident in your abilities to bunt, and I haven't seen him, execute that as much this year, just find a way to swing the bat, be aggressive. And I get the analytics. I mean, analytics tell you to bunt or swing most of the time, but there were 2 on. So I think when there were 2 on, it might go towards bunting. In that, I believe, I'm not quite sure what numbers say, but I think if you get first and second, it's much more likely than just first base. So tough call, but I mean, it's
a bunt spot for me.
When it does, but when it doesn't, you start double questioning what you could have done differently, and that's the way it happens for me. And of course, Eaton, with a chance to score, had an opportunity to cross home plate, but stayed at third. And you just got to be a bit more aggressive in terms of that base running. I thought he would have had a shot, and in the playoffs, it's just those little moments that, especially against. I mean, you've been a coach for many years.
Little things are big things.
Yes, especially when it's so magnified in the 3-game series. In the playoffs, every small component. And I'll tell you what, Conley Early did his job tonight. It was not his fault. The defense let this team down a couple of spots, including that pop-up earlier on in the game. There were some hard-hit balls, but, early was okay. It was. I'm not going to blame.
It was not Schlittler though. Schlittler was
it was more
legendary.
Just he was outdueled. He didn't lose the game himself. Schlittler was just miles better. And
but he's just 2 L's away from being in the shitter though. Schlittler, shitter. If you take the 2 L's away, it's not Schlittler anymore. It's just shitter.
That's great. I love it.
All right, Max, you got anything to add to that, or are we ready to go to bed?
I mean, I got one. Happy trails to Brian Snitker, who will not be returning as the Braves manager next season. Incredible 10 years with the Atlanta Braves. 811 wins, 668 losses, one pennant, a World Series champion. One of the, other than Bobby Cox, he's been one of the greatest Braves have had. And so he best wishes. He'll be in a advisory role next year for the Atlanta Braves.
Him inside, right? Next year's 40 years in the organization. You can't let him just go away.
Yeah, it's 40 years, man. It's crazy to think he has spent 40 years with the Atlanta Braves within their their franchise and their everything he's done through the minor leagues and up through to now. But best wishes to him. And now it leaves the question of who will be the next manager for the Atlanta Braves. And one of the names that's come up is the head coach of Tennessee Volunteer Baseball. Oh God, what's his name? Was it Tony Vitello?
Yeah, I saw his name on the list. It was a little lower on the list, Vitello. I saw the number one. The odds-on favorite was Mark DeRosa at 3-1.
Hey,
which is a great choice.
I think
if I was betting on it, I would bet JD Martinez at 12.
With Acuna still have a couple years in his prime to get going. There have been some interesting moves.
They got Harris locked up.
You still have a good core. You still have a good core that has a
well, actually, Albies might not be locked up.
Oh, he's not?
Albies could hit free agency.
Okay.
Riley's locked up. Albies could hit free agency. And I beg,
the Braves, if they make the right moves, I think they're still I think they still can be contenders. So even
their window's still
a down year. I think that if they can push the right buttons in this offseason, I think they could be right back there. In my opinion.
They got to figure out pitching. Pitching is their biggest issue right now, and they got to figure that out. Once they figure it out, I think they're going to be fine. But Ozzy Albies is hitting free agency, and if I'm the Atlanta Braves, bring him back. Don't let him go. Bring him back. He's been too good and too valuable to the Atlanta Braves as their second baseman for the last 7-8 years. He's too valuable for you to get rid of and let him go somewhere else in free agency. I think Braves need to re-sign and I think they need to look at the shortstop position next season as well. So I think they got some things they got to figure out, but I agree with Wes. I think this team can be a contending team that can win a World Series if they have all the right pieces put together. They can be very dangerous. And I think the biggest issue for them this year was pitching was an issue and injuries. If they didn't have those two problems, I think they'd be in the playoffs right now.
Right. And injuries are an uncontrollable factor. And you can always go buy more pitching.
Yeah.
So, all right, boys. Well, that brings us to the close. I got nothing to add. We've been on for an hour and 43 minutes. Good to go. We will see you guys tomorrow night. I plan to run point from the crib tomorrow night. I'll see you around 9:30 or so and bring in the live streams, and we'll have a good time. We'll look forward to that. So thanks to everybody for joining us tonight. Thanks to all of our sponsors. And thank you, fellas, for being great wingmen. We will see everybody tomorrow night around 9:30 for Lowco Pigskin Live, bringing you the highlights from week 6 of the high school football season. That's it for tonight. For Marcus Walsh, Max Araj, and Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Till next time, go Lowco.